Today on the podcast, I have Alexis from LA joining us. Hi, Alexis. It's good to have you.
Hi, thank you for having me join your podcast. I'm so excited.
Absolutely. Okay, so what do you want to talk to me about today? What's on your mind?
I would like to talk about healing and why certain traumas seem to take longer um, than others. And when you're in a situation like in an unhealthy environment, can you still continue to thrive and grow? And even in a difficult marriage, I'm passionate about helping people heal. I recently wrote 2 books, and I'm passionate about helping people heal from sexual trauma. That's an area in my life that I've worked a lot on.
Yeah.
And I'm currently in therapy to work on my other traumas that I'm not healed from, which is abandonment, my PTSD with alcohol, and my betrayal wounds. And so I wanted to know or have more insight on that.
So, really, what you want to know is why is it that some traumas take longer to heal than others, and is that normal?
Yes.
And then maybe part two of your question is, can you continue to work on healing even in a difficult situation? Okay,
Yes.
let's start there. Tell me a little bit about why do you feel like you're in a difficult situation currently? Like, what does that look like?
I recently moved into a place with others, and I clearly heard God tell me not to. But my husband is now on a different journey in his walk with God, and um, he he made the decision without me, and I went with him, and so everything that I knew would affect us, our marriage, our children, has been happening. So it's been really affecting my mental health.
So you
And
moved in as a couple with somebody else,
yes,
but you didn't think it was a good plan deep
no,
down, but you guys ended up moving in with people
yes,
and it's not going well.
no,
Okay. So it feels like it's a pressure cooker situation right now.
yes.
Okay. And do you feel like the pressure and stress is making the trauma even more exaggerated and amplified, like exposing it more than maybe in a non-stress situation?
Yes, definitely. Since I didn't grow up in a safe environment, and people weren't protecting me, I'm in a place where I feel like I can't protect my kids from everything. They're very sensitive to their environments, what they hear, what they feel. There's generational stuff still continuing in the household with somebody else, and it's on display. Um, it's given me anxiety because I've worked so hard to break these patterns, and now that
Hmm.
I can't. It's hard to set boundaries when you're in like the four walls of other people's home.
Right, right. Because then it's not just about your health. It's there's things going on around you, ways that people talk, interact, communicate, express their emotions that may or may not be healthy that you can't control while you're in someone else's environment.
Yes.
So, what's your game plan with that? Is this a long-term situation or short-term situation or indefinite?
It's a short term, and I've been praying a lot about where God wants me to go. He's placed things in my heart. I want to help people. I write and I speak, um, and also the problem is I homeschool, so having a job is what I'm searching for. A job I can do at home. I can still teach and be close to my children, and that has also been a big stressor in my life.
Yeah. So you mentioned something a little while ago. You talked about the need for safety.
Yes.
And it sounds like you're in a situation right now where you don't have full control. You know, it's interesting though, Alexis. I think sometimes we mistake control for safety and a lack of control to mean we're unsafe, when that's not always the case. I wonder if this environment that you're in, it's not ideal. Sounds like it's definitely not ideal, is resurfacing some old wounds of I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. I don't have control. I don't feel safe. And maybe it's bringing some of those things to the surface that would have otherwise been on hibernate if you were in a safe, controlled environment.
These, well, this topic right here with feeling safe, that's definitely what I've been working through in therapy. So I think it just really brought it out even more,
I think
being
so
in that
too.
situation.
I think so too. It's almost like it's being highlighted in this season because you're
Yes.
starting to feel it in different ways. Now, maybe it's not to the level of unsafety that you felt in your childhood, right? But your body is like, ooh, this feels familiar. This feels out of control. And it starts to make you feel sometimes those false alarms go off telling you that this is just as dangerous as your past, even if it's not. Like I call it a trigger, like you're being triggered because some of those old wounds are being pushed on in the situation that you're in right now. So to answer your question, can you heal in difficult environments? I think the answer is yes. And in fact, sometimes you heal faster in difficult environments because things that would have otherwise been on hibernate get exposed faster and more intensely in pressure situations, difficult situations. And then you have two options. Option number one is to run to unhealthy coping mechanisms because it's like, this is too much and it feels too intense. And I'm already in a difficult space. And now all this trauma is coming up to the surface. And what am I supposed to do with it all? So I'm just going to go drink. I'm just going to go watch Netflix for 10 hours. I'm just going to go dissociate. I'm just going to go scroll. I'm just going to go eat. I'm just going to go silent and isolate, right? Coping skills, unhealthy coping skills. Or you see all this hard stuff coming up as an invitation. And God is saying, yeah, this is difficult. This is a pressure cooker. And I'm bringing things up that otherwise were on hibernate because I'm inviting you to heal on a deeper level. I'm inviting you to expedited healing. Like we're going to do this even faster because all of this stuff is coming up. And I'm just glad to hear that this living situation is short term, because living under that amount of pressure long term can be really intense and hard and even too much on your body. But knowing that it's short term, you get to see it as a short term invitation into expedited healing. Like, okay, God, what are you going to bring up? What do I need to deal with? What do I need to face? What do I need to heal? And making sure that even in this difficult situation that you create space and time for yourself to get away and process. And I'm glad to hear you're in counseling. I'm really happy that you've prioritized that right now. And then even having pockets of time where you get away, set a boundary, create a space to process everything that's happening in a healthy way. And
Yes,
especially as a homeschool mom,
oh
you
yeah.
need it.
Yeah, I definitely believe like God can still work in areas and do beautiful things even if it wasn't a place that he said not to go.
Yes. Think about
Um,
Jonah, Alexis. Think about Jonah. His unsafe place that God told him not to go, was in the bottom of the pit of the whale's belly. Like, you're not supposed to be here. You know, this is intense. You should have just gone where I told you to go in the first place. But we never miss the opportunity for healing because we serve a gracious God who will not allow us to miss healing. It might look differently, but healing is available to you no matter where you went, no matter what turn, no matter what direction. God's like, it's okay. Well, then we'll heal here. It might have been easier to heal over there, but guess what? We're still going to heal here. And I think that's exactly what he did for Jonah is, okay, as I'm redirecting you, we're going to use this time to heal. And God met him there and healed his heart over those days in the pit of a whale's belly, in the darkness, in the pressure, and realigned him with truth, realigned him with God's plan. And it almost feels like you're in that season right now of realignment and revealing all of the things that God wants you to heal.
Yes, I definitely believe so too.
And, it would be different if I was hearing you say, there are genuinely unsafe places, right? There are places where there is like severe abuse and toxicity. I'm hearing you say you're in a difficult situation with unhealthy family members, but not necessarily the level of unsafety and severity that it would be dangerous, right?
Yes. I would
So,
say just emotionally, it gets overwhelming.
yes. So again, there's always a difference between difficult situations, which you're talking about, and you mentioned that, versus toxic situations, right? And even difficult situations can be toxic when prolonged. So the good news is it's a short term, you have a plan. This is difficult. Living with other people is difficult, especially people who aren't on the same level of health as you. But I do believe that even here you can heal. And, think about trauma like this. Every trauma has roots, and some roots are shorter and some roots are way deeper. And so for the shorter ones, it's easier to uproot those quickly. The longer ones, you think you uprooted them, but there were still deeper roots, and then the weed comes back to the surface, and you're like, wait a second, I thought I dealt with this. Why is it here again? Because sometimes the roots are deeper, more significant. They made a bigger impression on you for some reason or the other. Maybe there's a pattern of trauma, similar traumas that happen again and again and again. So there's different reasons why different trauma can be deeper than others, but no trauma can live forever if you don't want it to. Meaning you can uproot those weeds no matter how deep the roots. That doesn't mean you're going to forget and it's never going to affect you. You're never going to think about it. It's always going to be a part of you. But where there was the roots of trauma, you get to start planting new seeds of truth. And so have grace with yourself if something's come up again. Instead of seeing it as you going backwards, why am I dealing with this trauma again? Why can't I heal from this? See it as the Lord inviting you to another layer of healing. It's just the next layer. I'm just taking you a little bit deeper here, Alexis. And I think part of that means that God trusts you. He trusts you to heal. He's like, she's strong enough. She can handle another layer right now. And what I'm hearing from you, which is so impressive, is that you are leaning into healing. You're not resisting it.
It pause and cut off.
What I'm hearing from you, which is so amazing and so exciting, is that you're leaning into healing. You're not resisting it.
Yes, I definitely have came to that place where I wanted to heal more than anything else. I wasn't going to allow the pain of my past to stop me. There was a period of time where I just said no for a long time until I was like, I'm tired of this. And you should definitely, be healthy and heal a lot before you're married and have children. But I wasn't spiritually and emotionally aware of this a long time ago. So I would definitely say my children and being married is what showed me my triggers. And I quickly jumped on the healing wagon because I was like, my daughter's going to start growing up and I want to be healthy for her. I don't want to repeat this pattern. I need to start dealing with this. And of course, that took years. And um, sometimes I would think, oh, this is taking forever. But then if I think about, oh, from this time to this time, like I see all this progress that is made. If I rated it from like a 1 to a 10, I can see like the number going lower and lower and saying, oh, wait, there has been progress. There has been healing. Um, and of course God's timing is different than ours. And when you've had trauma from the time you were born to like your young adult, of course it's going to take a lot of time. I'm 28 now, and so it's of course it's going to take time to keep going each layer after each layer. And I'm grateful that he showed me that I needed healing, because I've experienced in the church where I've asked them about healing and they couldn't really give me an answer, or they said, um, you're a new creation, all things are new, and never look back. And so I kept thinking, okay, I'm okay now. Like, I can forget about my past, but God showed me in my dreams all the things He wanted to heal me from. And then it was like he opened me up and I felt all the pain that I had stuffed. And I was like, oh no, 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 I
Hmm.
don't want to go there, and but I'm grateful that he showed me, and I wasn't, just listening to, the church and just staying the same. um so yeah, I'm grateful for that.
That's amazing. It's so true, the importance of looking back to heal. And I do think I always say there's a difference between fixating on your past and just like looking back and this is why I am who I am and all my past and I'm just stuck. There's a difference between facing your past and fixating on your past. Facing your past means you look back to heal. Fixating means you look back to blame and to have an excuse. And so I agree with you. We don't talk about it enough in the church. I think sometimes we just make light of our past, forget what is behind and strain towards what is ahead. And, don't look back and don't deal in your new creation, like you said. But in order to become a new creation, we've got to take off the old. And so that's the process that you have entered. And so I'm so proud of you because this is truly hard work, but good work. And you get lighter and lighter with each step and it becomes easier and easier. And then not only that, it begins to overflow into the people around you. You said that you started noticing your triggers more when you were married and had kids. It's because these close relationships are a mirror to our past. They're a mirror to our wounds. And so God gives us these people who are exposing all the buttons that we have, all of the sore spots, all of the trauma. But I love that instead of blaming everybody around you, you've decided to take ownership. And that health is going to overflow into your marriage and into your children. And that's what I'm praying for you as God continues to uproot some of these things from your past.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, be patient with yourself. And don't forget to celebrate the work that you have done and the work that God has done. I think sometimes when we want more healing, more healing, more healing, it's like, okay, Lord, come on. We want more, but we forget where we've come from and what God has already done. So take the time to stop and celebrate. Celebrate what God has done. Celebrate where you are. Celebrate where your kids are. Celebrate where your marriage is. And say out loud all of the good that you're seeing, all of the truth that's being planted all around you. Take the time to celebrate and then do some more work. but don't stop to celebrate. Don't forget to stop to celebrate, because that's such an important part of this process. And you have a lot to celebrate, it sounds like to me.
Yes, definitely.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your question about trauma and just for sharing your journey with us. I know that it'll encourage a lot of people on their own journey as well.
Thank you.
I'm excited for God to spit you out of the whale's belly soon and launch you into a new season. But in the meantime, I'm excited to watch you grow and heal, even in the difficult situation. And I'm praying that God would expedite the healing process right now in the intensity of everything that's going on. And then when you look back one day, you can say, wow, that was a time of intense healing. And that's what I'm praying for you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was good to meet you, Alexis. Take care.
You. Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.